Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Praise the Most High blesses this lesson this evening, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of the things that are soon to come on the earth. Coming to you guys with a quick lesson. A couple people sent me a video about this congressman that was crying and talking about the sins of America. I'll leave the link of the video in the description box. And then I kind of looked and I realized that the video was actually from a couple of years ago. But that really doesn't matter because their game plan is exactly the same. During the good times, they didn't believe they had to pay for anything that happened to us. And now that the bad times are here, they're still not wanting to admit the entire truth. In the video, the congressman was crying and talking about how the nation was going to have to pay for, of course, the sins that they want to acknowledge. They want to acknowledge the fact that, abortion was a reason for the Most High getting ready to, bring judgment on America. Taking the Bible out of schools was another reason. Homosexuality as well was another reason for the plagues that were going to soon visit, America. And that they would have to make these changes in order for God, as they like to say, to forgive them. But like I said, it's always the same thing. Now, this is kind of funny, is that if you actually think about all the abortions and the Bible out of the school and homosexuality, it's okay for the whole nation to have to pay for those sins. See, it's always okay for them to have to pay for the sins that they want to acknowledge. But see, when we talk about what happened to our people, they're real quick with, well, I didn't own slaves. It wasn't me. It wasn't my family. So see, for some sins, they're okay with, hey, everybody paying for. But as far as talking about the sins of what has happened to us, apparently no one has to pay for. So say even when they're trying to decide what it is that they need to pay for, we still get the short end of the stick. And that's okay because they don't get to be judge and jury anymore. The Most High is the judge and the jury. He's the one that's going to talk. He's going to decide who pays for what and everything else. So thank the Most High. It's not the Gentiles that get to make those decisions. And it's actually the Most High is going to be taking care of that. Now, let me help the nation out and the world out and let you know that all of this was already pre-planned. We were going to get punished first, and then you're going to get punished second. You can make up whatever reason it is that you're going to get punished for, but you're going to get punished. I know many people, wanted to just ignore the slavery thing, the stealing of the land thing. They just want to kind of brush all that under the rug. But the Most High is not going to do that. So if you want to make up the whole evangelical movement and it's about abortion and it's about homosexuality and it's about Bible out of the school, hey, be my guest. If that's what you want, if that's what floats your boat and makes you feel a little bit better about what's about to come down the pike, so be it. But the Most High said that he was going to punish his children first, and then he was going to punish you guys next. And that's why these things are coming on the earth. It's not necessarily the things you guys are talking about as far as the evangelical movement. You guys have just jumped past the whole slavery thing, like you just get to skip over all that. No one has to pay for that. But see, that's why the Most High already put these things in other books, and it connects with the scriptures as well. Let's go over a couple real quick. See, this is why Gentiles don't get to be the ones to dictate which books are good, which books are bad. Because you know what they're going to do? They're going to take out every single book that would actually talk about the things they're going to have to pay for in the future. They're taking out all the things that talk about that third set of plagues that's coming all over the earth. They're going to get rid of all that because they don't want, to hear about that. They want to be able to make up their own, reasons for punishment. But in 2 Baruch 13 it says, 13 and 4 out of the Sefer, so that if ever those prosperous cities say, why has El Elohim brought upon us this retribution? That's today. All these people are now wondering, excuse me, what have I done? What have we done to deserve this? We haven't done anything. Well, we've done a couple of things, but it's okay. Jesus loves us and he's going to forgive everything. No, that's not what it says. Again, let me read that again. So that if ever those prosperous cities say, why has El Elohim brought upon us this retribution? Now you're going to be questioning yourselves, why is this happening? That's what's happening right now. When things are now breaking down and people are being stuck in their houses and they're now having to kind of think about these things, are asking themselves, why are these things happening? It says, say unto them, you and those like you who shall have seen this evil, this is the evil and retribution which is coming upon you and upon your people in its destined time, that the nations may be thoroughly smitten. The Most High is going to thoroughly, destroy and bring down these nations. That was his plan from the beginning. And then they shall be in anguish. So he's going to bring anguish to the other nations. There's no getting around that. Okay? And if they say at that time, for how long? Remember, now you hear people now, well, for how long? Well, hopefully everything's going to be better in 2 weeks. That's what they're saying now. They're asking for how long? How long is this punishment? Maybe a month. Okay, maybe a month, and then everything gets back to the way it was. See, they want things to get back to the way it was because that's where their comfort level is. They've already been marked. All these people that are in such a hurry to act like this isn't happening, this isn't true, this is only going to happen for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks or 4 weeks. Now they're asking a question, well, yeah, we're going to be punished for how long? See, they don't want to think about the fact that we were punished for 500 years and that they are going to be punished for 1,000 years. They don't want to talk about that. They don't want to think about that. See, it's okay for us to have to go through all this anguish for 500 years, but they want their punishments to be short and sweet. Most I talked about 1,000-year punishment, double, giving them double what we got. We got 500 years, they're getting 1,000. You will say to them, ye who have drunk the strained wine, drink ye also of its dregs. The judgment of the lofty one who has no respect of persons. The Most High does not respect people. He's going to tell you, he punished his kids first, so that you Gentiles and the other nations don't have an excuse. It says, on this account, he had aforetime no mercy on his own sons, but afflicted them as his enemies, because they sinned. Now see, this is the whole thing. You can't just talk about what happened over in the southern kingdom being brought over here in the slave trade and things that happened to them. You also have to talk about the 10 tribes and what happened to them in 1492 going forward. How they were just decimated. Hundreds of millions of people killed, destroyed, raped, and then all of that forgotten, all that history hidden. Again, we read that again. On this account, he had aforetime no mercy on his own sons, but afflicted them as his enemies, because they sinned. Then, therefore, were they chastened that they might be sanctified. So we were chastened so at the end, right now, we could be sanctified. We could receive our Psalms 91 coverage. We can see the plagues coming on the other nations. These are the things that he was talking about when he was talking about sanctifying his people. But now, ye peoples and nations, ye are guilty, because ye have always trodden down the earth. Have they not trodden down the earth even till today? Still trodden down the earth, not respecting the land, not respecting the animals, just trying to squeeze every little penny they can out of the earth. Okay, and so I'm read it again. But now, ye peoples and nations, ye are guilty, because ye have always trodden down the earth, and used the creation unrighteously. For I have always benefited you, and ye have always been ungrateful for the beneficence. So the Most High has given the Gentiles their opportunity, given them their time, but they did not appreciate it. Now we're going to link this up with the scriptures, with Bible, okay? Go to Romans 9, and let's look at 22 and 23. What you're going to see is the Most High has given these nations a long time to rule. And then at the end, he was going to bless his chosen, bless his people. And when you hide these other books, like, and you read Romans by itself, then that's when these pastors used to be able to switch everything up, give their own breakdowns of, of the scriptures and everything else. Because that's what they're there to do, cause confusion, continue to push Babylon, to push Babel, to push confusion. Romans 9, 22 and 23. What if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured for with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? And that's exactly what the Most High did. In order to show his wrath against his people and to make his power known. That's exactly what he did. He put, he had wrath on us, on his chosen seed. And he, for a long time, allowed the other nations to be on top of us, to destroy us. That was all part of the plan. So again, what if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory. He'd already put the mark on the people he was going to redeem here at the end, on the vessels of mercy. See, when you don't hook this up with the other scriptures and the other books, then you're open to just kind of make up whatever dogma that they wanted to do, and that's exactly what they've been doing. But now that's not going so well anymore. Now that's why now all these churches, have been closed, and they're not saying much anymore. They're not out here in the forefront, giving their breakdowns of scriptures anymore, because they know that people will have a lot of questions now because of the times that we're in, and they don't have any answers. So now they just ghosted everybody and just disappeared. And that's what you're seeing right now. So when they sit here and cry, and like I said, when you look at the video, they want to pick and choose the reasons as to why God is, going to punish their nation. He's punishing their nation because of primarily that was the plan, and that he used them to destroy us as a people. But at the end, he was going to redeem us like he said he would, and like he's doing now. And these people still, because they know that destruction is here, they don't want to tell the people the truth as to why. They don't want them to believe the fact that they were punishing the Most High's chosen people, and that now everything has come full circle, and it's now their time to get that same punishment, but double. So I just wanted to bring that to you guys real quick, just to kind of clarify, why, not necessarily for us, because we know, but these other nations don't. So when they sit there and hear this guy crying and talking about, wanting to be redeemed and the things that, the sins, well, let's go back to the original sins, not just the ones you want to admit to right now. Let's go to the original sins of when you stepped foot on this land, and the things that you did to the Most High's chosen people, and the way you have raped the land of its resources and not followed the ways that the Most High wanted the land to be treated, or his people. All praise is to the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who was wisdom, who was the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.